Hi everyone, welcome to Lynette's Beauty Box. Today I'm going to talk about a subject that is not beauty related. I'm going to talk about, well, for me a very sensitive subject, my weight. I am 47 years old and I am clinically morbid obese. Now, over the years, people have made assumptions about me that I'm fat, I'm lazy, that I eat out all the time, or that I overeat all the time, that I just stuff myself with fried fatty foods like French fries and fried chicken and fried this and fried that. And that's just not the case. I've had pancreatitis since I was 18 years old. I've struggled with my weight for years and years, since I was about 12. Before that, I was a very skinny kid. I've always been very active, but about the time that I got my woman, I started, when the hormones in my body started to change, I started to gain weight. And so when I was married the first time, when I got married, I weighed about 180 pounds. And then when I met Marty, I was pushing 200, and then I went between 2 and 250, and then I had gotten up to 300 pounds. So, I've heard things all my life like, you'd be so pretty if you just lose the weight. You have such a pretty face. Comments like that are back-ended compliments. But I just want to talk about my weight loss journey. So I'm 47 years old. I am disabled and I weigh 356 pounds. So I've never been this big in my life, and it scares me on a daily basis that I'm going to die. So I decided that I would do a blog. So I'm just going to read you my blog entry page. And that kind of gives you a little background. It says, welcome to my weight loss journey. When is it time for change? My clothes don't fit. There's nothing but negativity in my space. And at 46 years old, I have more health problems and concerns than an 80-year-old. I thought that was bad. I had no way of knowing how much worse it would become. 1 month later, my mom would pass away from me unexpectedly, and I spiraled out of control. Grief-stricken and facing life without my biggest cheerleader, I fell in a dark hole of depression and emotional eating. I was tipping the scale at 350 pounds and facing life with diabetes, morbid obesity, COPD, on oxygen, and that's just for starters. No, not to mention I chain smoked. So what's a girl to do? I needed help and fast, or I was going to die at a young age. I enlisted the help of a dietitian, a therapist, and Marty, who is my husband. Marty, my loving partner of 23 years, agreed we need change. He said one thing to me that just shocked me to my core. He said, your mom wants you to live your best life, and this is not it. So we stopped smoking together and tried to eat healthy, but it was hard. We were in this thing together, and after many failed attempts at weight loss for the past 25 years, I've decided to go on a surgery journey. I started my surgery journey here in Springfield, Missouri. My physician suggested the bariatric surgery, so she referred me to a surgeon, and I had the first meeting with his nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, whatever it was. And then she told me that I would need to do a seminar. So I waited and waited and put it off and put it off and put it off. All the while continuing to eat exactly like I was, with, fried potatoes, lots of carbs everywhere. And although I was a diabetic, I didn't stay on my diet. I am not insulin dependent though, so that's a good thing. So I had talked to my mom about the gastric bypass surgery, and she basically told me to reconsider doing that because she had heard bad things. My mom was a dietitian, so she was not for surgery. She had basically, when she was about 20 years ago, she had like 70% of her intestine removed. She had like a twisted something, and she had to have the surgery redone. So she kind of knew, not the same thing as a gastric bypass, but kind of this, stomach stuff. After she passed away, like I said, I was just in so much turmoil. She had passed away. She had metastatic renal cancer, and it had metastasized all over her body. But I didn't know she had cancer. She didn't tell any of her children. She told her brothers and sisters and made them promise not to tell me. She did this. I mean, this sounds kind of bad, but the whole reason she did this is because she thought, that she was going to be able to fight it. And she was in chemo, from what I understand, for a year. My mom lived like about 90 miles away, and I don't drive, so we talked weekly, but we didn't see each other a lot. So her dying hit me so hard. At that time, it was a world my whole world came crashing down, and because I have a background in the medical field, I knew what certain terms meant, but it didn't really sink in, like, it just didn't. And of course, my husband and my children were there to, support me. I have adult children. But it was a very hard time, and I started thinking about the direction in which my life was going. So I finally went to the seminar like a year later. I went to this seminar for the weight loss surgery, and I got a lot of good information, and then I had a packet of information to fill out. I filled that out, turned it in, and then I waited. And I waited. And then this was November of last year. I still hadn't heard anything, so on my own I started seeing a dietitian. And then about January, I got an appointment with this, which I thought was the surgeon, but it was the surgeon's assistant. And So she kind of explained to me what, the things I would have to do. So I went and saw the dietitian appointment that I had gotten, and she had mentioned something about me being referred to St. Louis. She said, "Are you having your surgery here?" I was like, "As far as I know, yeah." Well, a few days later, I got a phone call from the surgeon's office here in Springfield saying that they were referring me to Barnes Jewish Hospital, Washington University in St. Louis, because I just had too many medical problems, and if something was to go wrong during that surgery, that the doctors and the hospital in St. Louis was more, I don't know, they had more tools at their disposal just in case something happened. So at first I was really depressed and upset, and in the meantime I started seeing a therapist because of my depression, mainly with the grief and dealing with that. So now I'm seeing my dietitian every 2 weeks, and I'm getting weighed every 2 weeks. My weight's going down, it's going up, just little tiny bits. And then, so I finally find out I'm going to have to pay, because I use Medicaid transport, but I was going to have to pay for the dietitian, to see the dietitian, the physical therapist, all that stuff. Up there, I had to figure out the logistics of how that was going to happen, because neither Marty or I drive, and we don't have any family that's really close that could take us. So I found out that I had to go through the whole process all over again, starting with the seminar. So we made plans. We made the appointment for the seminar, and we went up there, went to the seminar, and then at the seminar I actually got an appointment for my first appointment. So at that appointment, they did a H. pylori test, which is basically what that is they check to see if you have bacteria in your gut. It's either bacteria or a virus or something. Anyway, so they did that one. It came back negative, so that's good. And they gave me just like a little folder with all kinds of like information in it and stuff that I was going to be required to do. So, and then there was like probably 10 pages that I had of information I had to fill out prior to the seminar, so I didn't have to do that again. That was good. Basically, my whole medical history. Just a little info. To have this surgery, you have to have a BMI, which is body mass index, of 40 or greater, with no comorbid condition. Comorbidities is like you have like diabetes or sleep apnea and the obesity or, stuff like that. So, or you have to have a BMI of 35 to 39.9 in conjunction with at least one comorbidity. But my BMI is above 40, so that really didn't apply to me. And this is one thing I didn't know. You have to be smoke-free before they'll surgery on you. Of course, that didn't affect me, but there was one gal at the seminar that did smoke, and she was like, "I've got to quit smoking." Well, yeah. If you don't know, smoking and caffeine can inhibit your body's healing, so it could basically retard the healing process in your body. Not totally, but you're not going to heal as fast, basically. And they gave you, a thing about, things that you were going to have to pay to check insurance, all that good stuff. And they gave me a list of things that I was going to have to do prior to meeting with the surgeon. So I have to have a proof of medically supervised weight loss for at least 6 months prior to the surgery, a letter of clearance from your primary care physician, lab and an EKG, a PFT, which is a pulmonary function test, and let's see what it was. Oh, I had to watch an online video, and then I had a registered dietitian appointment, a physical therapy appointment, and a psychology appointment. And these appointments, what they were, was the nutrition appointment with a dietitian was for a nutrition assessment with lifestyle changes. The physical therapy appointment was for exercise assessment and plan. And then for the psychology appointment with the psychiatrist, it was a behavioral assessment. And then they gave me a list of all these different blood tests that I have to have, which luckily I could have them done here in Springfield. I didn't have to have them do it there, so I could use the lab that I chose. I had to have a ferritin test, a PTH intact, a vitamin D25 hydroxy, vitamin B12 iron profile with IVC. I had to have a TSH, a lipid panel, a CBC with auto differential, a comprehensive metabolic panel. I had to have an now I can't talk. Let me take a drink of coffee. An ECG with a 12 lead. So all that was good, fun stuff. Now for the medically supervised weight loss, I was able to have my dietitian just fax her notes to them. So I was able to see my doctor and have all the blood work and then the release and all that stuff done. So I did all that. So that's where we're at right now. I'm waiting for the Washington University physicians to receive all of that stuff. And then once I have done all that, I can call them or wait for them to call me. And then they will set up an appointment for me to visit with the surgeon. And then closer to my surgery date, I will have another appointment with the dietitian, just basically a refresher. Now, meeting with the dietitian up there was a total different experience than with the one I see down here. She was basically explaining to me what kind of diet I was gonna, be having. And I found it very interesting. A week before my surgery, I will have to go on a total liquid diet, high protein, stuff like Ensure Max, so that, and I've been really, working on that. And then she gave me a list of bariatric snacks that were high protein, low fat. She gave me a list of things to work on before surgery. And it's interesting, it says to help prepare for weight loss surgery, I will practice chewing 15 to 20 times per bite. Slow my eating down. Put my silverware down between bites. Start a multivitamin, which I already take. Start calcium with vitamin D, which I already take. Stop added sugar and replace with sugar substitute. I already do that. Stop or limit regular soda and beverages with added sugar. I don't do that at all. I either drink diet. Every occasionally I do drink a regular soda, but not very often. It says select and purchase a protein supplement before surgery. That I am still working on. Stop and limit fast food, fried food, decrease portion sizes, eat more fruits and vegetables, read food labels for protein, fat, and calories, read ingredient lists for sugar content, limit fat to 3 to 5 grams per serving, and increase physical activity per PT recommendations. And then other, and I wrote down here because I know the things that I have shortcomings on. I know what trips me up. Avoid binge eating. Pay attention to portions. Avoid chips, sweets. My sweet shakes are okay. And go to 1% milk. Now, I love ice cream. I love sweets. But obviously, I've had to cut out ice cream, chips, all that kind of snacky foods. And I kind of graze through the day. So, and then when I do that, because I also do a food diary where I calculate my calories, my carbs, and watch my proteins. But when I graze, I tend not to write those stuff down. And then when I thought, oh, I haven't, because I'm on a 16 to 1700 calorie diet. So I thought, oh, I'm doing good. But then I'm not writing down the in-between stuff. So I had to watch that. And the binge eating for me is like, if I get a carton of sherbet and eat half of it. For me, that's binge eating. Or if, like, in a 4-hour period, I eat a whole bag of chips. Or, like, if I eat a whole block of cheese. That never happens. But the ice cream thing, so we stopped buying ice cream. But I still like to have a shake or ice cream. And I found a way. I found a recipe, something in a recipe, and kind of like, and then I kind of tweaked it a little bit, and then I watched a show once, I think it was called Eat This, Not That with Rocco DiSpirito, and I kind of took a little bit of what he was saying and kind of, made it my own. So I take a cup of 1% milk and about 8 frozen whole strawberries, a half a banana, and usually 2 packets of Splenda or Truvia, and I put that in my Ninja, like a bullet or something, and I blend that, and then Marty and I split that. So that was okay. That was approved. And then she was telling me about, she did give me some protein shake samples. The one that is really good is from Bariatric Advantage. And it was a protein shake. I think it had like 30 grams of protein in it. and you just added milk or water, which is going to, if you use milk, it's going to up your protein that much more. And it was good, but it was really thick and frothy and kind of, it wasn't very cold. So I thought, well, if I do that, I will have to like freeze my milk or something, I don't know, or make it like super, super cold so it wouldn't be too bad. But the it talks about how to choose a protein supplement, and it says they encourage you to read food labels as products will frequently change. So look for a supplement with at least 15 grams of protein per 8-ounce cup, 20 grams of total carbohydrate, and less than 5 grams of fat. It says, but there are common supplements that aren't a good choice, like Carnation Instant Breakfast, the regular one. They do have one that's high in protein that I'm using right now, that I actually like it, the chocolate one. Don't get the vanilla one because it tastes like powdered milk. Ensure Slim Faster Boost, they do not suggest any of those. But the Ensure Max is low, has a low sugar but high in protein. That's the one that she suggested. And she also gave me a handout about basically what my diet is going to look like post-surgery. So week 1, it will be a full liquid diet. So, and no caffeine. And nothing carbonated. Can't have any carbonation. And week 2, it'll go to, and this is my personal favorite, a puree diet. Yummy. And then you go from a puree diet to a soft diet. And then you go from a soft diet, I think, to a regular diet, which they call your forever diet. The good thing about this surgery, the thing that I really like, and the reason I'm having this particular surgery, is because when they basically reroute your stomach or whatever, what have you, you are left with a food pouch that is very small. And actually, your stomach only holds 1 cup of food right now. But if you want to see a really good, informative movie about diet, I would recommend checking out Forks Over Knives. That movie changed my life. It did. Oops, sorry about that. It totally changed my life, people. Let me tell you, I could never go full vegan because I couldn't have milk, cheese, or eggs, and I would be like, I'm out. Nope, ain't gonna do it. Can't do it. I can limit those things, but I can't cut them solely out of my diet. Basically, because I love eggs. And I can't go without, yogurt or cottage cheese. I love those things. My favorite go-to right now for snacks is it's either an ounce of cheese or a hard-boiled egg, or one of my go-to favorites is a Third cup of cottage cheese with 2 sliced tomatoes. It is super yummy. I mean, I'm not a big, huge meat person. I'm not like, I gotta have my meat. No. But I do like it. Occasionally I have a steak. Maybe tonight I will. But I've been experimenting in the kitchen with all kinds of different vegetables. But that is going to be a talk for another day. Thank you for tuning in and checking out this video. I plan on doing some vlogs about my diet, my surgery, and I'm going to be doing more videos in that style. I am going to be showing some before and afters. I'm really scared about the befores, but I'm going to do it because this is my life. I love you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You can comment down below. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.